right. Good morning. Good morning. It is 8:45. Just in case you didn't check your watch, it's not 6:30. My name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com, and I am the founder of Red Dog Mindset. Listen, I apologize for the morning, but just in case, I wanted to give everyone the feeling what happens if Red Dog disappears. If Red Dog's gone and there's no more Pound 630 Club, can you prepare for the day? Can you do 40 of your own charts? Can you get the mood, the narrative, know what the keys are? You better, because some days, all these drones up there, somebody might pick up Red Dog, take me to another planet, and then all of a sudden, you guys are on your own. You don't want that to happen. Or I do get like 5 to 10,000 views of this Pound 630 Club, and some of you, are on the virtual trading floor. Some of you are on the alpha team. Some of you trade here. But some of you just watch the Pound 630 Club and just say, hey, Red Dog, I just want to spend the morning with you. But what happens if not enough people do everything else? Maybe it leaves, maybe it doesn't. I'm kidding. I won't take it away. But 20 to 520 is coming soon, so you guys better subscribe to that. With that being said, let's just move on. Nobody abducted the Red Dog, and I can't make up like a really crazy story, which I was going to do. But bottom line is power went off in my house. Yesterday, I was in the ice barrel. Okay, I have a new ice tub, the Icelandic. It's awesome. I set my timer for 3 or 4 minutes. I set my timer, and it went off. I'm like, Siri, timer off. And P.S., I turned off all my alarms. So today I just woke up late for the first time since college. I also was out late. I had a meeting. So anyway, here we are. It's 8:47. Let's take a quick look here. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Here's the chart of the SPYs. What do we know? A lot of things are behind us now, which is good. I like when things, Siri's turning off the alarms again. Anyway, sometimes you just say, what do we know? What don't we know? Okay, the deep seek news is behind us. Things have been affected. Some people say it's not a big deal. Some people say it's going to bring down costs of all of AI. We've had that volatility. The Fed is behind us too, which is good. The Fed expectations were for 50 basis points of cuts. Now they're 48 basis points worth of cuts. So not really an adjustment based on what Powell said, but he didn't throw any curveballs. We now have a lot of earnings behind us also. So hopefully some trends will develop and we can just start our swing trades and continue moving forward. What do we know as of now with the SPYs? We basically have a bit of a wedge type pattern here. Okay, what's a wedge type pattern? A pattern of indecision, right? We've had a move since the lows of January, went back to the highs. At that point, it wasn't enough to get over it, right? Because again, it's only January. And then you had the deep seek news. So we had our gap down, our market discovery, which happened on Monday, which was 594. And now we're going sideways here. So we're building a wedge, not a wedgie that's going to hurt you like you were in sleepaway camp, but a wedge on Wall Street, which is great because it gives you points of reference to figure out which way it's going to resolve. And as of right now, you have 599.22, which held yesterday. You have 604 and 605 pivot resistance. There's a little bit of a gap left over. Then you have the highs. If you look here at the SPYs right now are only up $1.24. It'll be interesting to see if we get a trend type day, because sometimes you get a trend type day after the Fed. So we'll see. Right now we're up $1.20. We're at 603.07. So we're really just creating almost the apex of this wedge for now. Okay. You could go to a bunch of different sectors real quickly. The Qs, same kind of thing. You have it's been lagging. So you want to note, what do we know? We know that the Qs have been lagging. What do we know? We know 516.90 is support, and there's a gap above that wasn't filled, and we know it made a lower high based on where the SPYs were. What do we know about the small caps? We know that Tom Lee loves the small caps, but it needs to prove itself. There is some flows in the small caps this morning, okay? Some guys are long versus 225. It's been very sloppy and choppy. In order to get some confidence, it's got to get above 229.89, which is right there. I don't know if it will. I'm not really hyper-focused on the small caps, but a lot of people are asking me, hey, Red Dog, what about the small caps? You could say the same thing for the XBI. The XBI, it's lagged for years. So can the XBI finally get better? It doesn't reward you whatsoever, buying strength in the XBI. Maybe you're long versus 91. In order to breed some confidence, it's got to get above this 94.38. As of right now, you can go to, like, the IWM is getting some extra flows. It's up, $2, whereas the SPYs right now are up less. So far, the early look in the morning is that some flows are going to the small caps. So maybe that supports that thesis. All right, for me, I'm going to be trading a lot of the different earnings scenarios. I'm I love Mag 7. I like the semis. I love the super growth. That's my go-to list. And some names proved to stay on the go-to list, and some need some more time. Well, what do I mean? Well, let's go to my three amigos from last year. First, Reddit proved to be on the go-to list. How did it reprove it again? Well, on Monday, hopefully you bought a dip into the 21-day. You had most sectors testing the 50-day, 100-day. This is the 21-day, and wow, you probably got paid if you are long Reddit, if that's been part of your go-to list. I've been hyper-focused on Dash. I've been talking about Dash for almost 4 months right now, and it's been one of my biggest winners. And for power plays, we've played options, they've worked. We've played the stock, and it worked. And why, first of all, my son loves DoorDash, and so do all of his friends, but it's a lot more than the Dash Pass. Bottom line is, right around here is where I started to get really involved in Dash. And since then, it's acted special. What does that mean? You could be long it. You could have a gap down like you did on Monday. It could be down 4 or 5 points. You could buy it. It goes green. You get paid for the cash flow, and you have your swing. So right here, this really proved again, the market proved, not my thesis, but the market proved that this was go-to status again, as it held this 175, 176 area and made a new high yesterday. Also, what I like to do is I like to go towards like the weekly charts and look at it. Look at this cup and handle pattern in in Dash. Sorry. This is 256, 257. That's where it came public when not a lot of companies were going public. So to me, this is going to be 225 or more. So I get part of my narrative from the weekly chart as well as the action from the daily chart. So hopefully you've been making a lot of money in Dash. I've talked about this on the 630 Club a lot. I've thrown bones in your doghouse. I've taught you how to dig for them, and this worked awesome this week. The third one of this has been Palantir. This was a little harder, I'll be honest with you. This corrected a little bit further than some people would have liked. I will say my buddy Todd from back in the day, he's on the virtual trading floor with a lot of people right now. A lot of people have been trying the virtual trading floor this week in an open house, so they've got to navigate things with me. But anyway, this is rebuilt nicely. This right here gave you a false breakout. It broke the moving averages and then showed a little relative strength about a week or so ago. If the bears had control, they would never have let it break through 74. A lot of people were shorting this, saying it was broken. It broke above, saying, no, it's not broken, and did a little bit of a topping tail into resistance, but look at the size of it. Then it held on Monday. This really was big. When it held on Monday, it proved, hey, people are still buying a shallow dip in Palantir now. If you're long it, put your stop in at 77, and chances are maybe it takes out this area moving forward. So, those three stocks are still go-to status. As far as mega cap tech, what are some of my thoughts there? Well, one, Meta, okay, which had an awesome move. I do not own any Meta right now. We made a lot of money in a call spread. Does it hold 682? Does Meta, that it was up at, Meta was a lot higher before, right? Meta was, up at 710 last night. It's come in, it's up 20. If you took some calls, if you traded it, congratulations. If you're an investor in Meta long-term, congratulations. There's a difference between being an active trader that gets paid for a living. It's January 30th. You do not just buy things and close your eyes and wish and pray. There's no wishing and praying in trading. You're in Meta. So Meta's holding up. So see if it holds up and continues, and what type of gap does it have? That's one thought. Okay. I've been in Amazon pretty much since last week. Amazon's been great. A lot of my friends are in it for an investment. Congratulations. It's only down 50 cents, so it's not really being affected by the Azure poor guidance or light numbers from Microsoft yet. I don't think it's going to happen. I think if you're active, 235 is a spot to be long against. If you remember, I've been long since here actively, traded up to highs, added a ton, traded it through. This has been my number one. This was my money trade this week. Hopefully it was your money trade for you. I know a lot of people on the Alpha team, did it really well right there. Anyway, 241.77 is a prior high. Earnings are until next week. They're not till February February 5th. So you have some time for it to rebuild. I'm staying with that. Google, I'm also in. I bought some options for earnings for next week. I did it really light, and actually did it in the hole yesterday. And now we'll see, does it get above 197? This is a nice consolidation. So if Google delivers, I think it can go. It's got to deliver, obviously. It still was only at 191 back in July, so it hasn't had a huge move. It's not overly extended, priced for perfection. So I think this is something to watch. And lastly, Tesla, which you guys know, I love it when Tesla's go-to status. Love it. You could buy dips, play it through prices, get momentum, trim some, hold some, and stay with the trend, which is what we did from here. On November 6th, we've been in this thing all the way up to the red dog reversal, which was right here around 488. So now the question is now, obviously, a lot of guys say, red dog, they missed on the quarter. What the hell's going on here? The stock market's rigged. Like, well, Tesla really is a forward-looking story. And I was sitting here tired yesterday while I was listening to Elon talk, and he sounded great. He mumbled a little bit. He's a little tired. He should, take a little nap here and there. But overall, he was talking about the future, talking about how, how FSD could be, or however those three letters are, a 10x or 100x, and his robots and this and that, and sounded like everyone who thought he was crying wolf. He's trying it out in Texas sooner than people thought, so that's what turned the stock after hours. So if you look now at Tesla here, Tesla is at 406. So the first step to go to status is holding the majority of today's gap up, which I'm already long the stock. You can see here, I bought it yesterday after hours. So this is the alpha team. This is everybody who's talking about what's happening here. There's over 500 people talking about levels and price action, where they're going to make money. So you can see I do have Tesla overnight. I didn't touch it yet. I have a Tesla call spread on the 425s by 445s. Not sure if it's going to work. What I might do is might sell more premium above it to lock it in. As I said before, I do have some Google calls on. I have some Amazon on. I've had Dash on for a while. I have some IBIT. Bitcoin actually has been acting really well. So, by the way, if you want to join the alpha team and you trade for a living, you should. We're here all day long. I'm on the microphone literally from 9:15 to about 11:30, where I make most of my adjustments in money. I also have a note. But if you only want to watch the 630 Club for free, I get it. But at some point it might not be here. So again, make sure you know where we are. Not saying I'm taking, just throw a nugget out there. You thought how you felt this morning when you wanted to see what was going on. Anyway, so first step is big gap uphold. Second is take back the moving averages, and then we have a whole new leg to stand on. I did that here. You could have been a buyer versus 275, and then this started a beautiful trend above the 8-day. I'm not saying this is going to happen this time, but if it does, I will be there, and it will be my hyper focus. For right now, it's got, you say there's a chance. So we'll see how that chance goes. As far as IBM, I'm not in it. Funny thing is, I remember when I was looking at the weekly chart and people were yelling at me, they were calling me grandpa because I was like, look at this decade of pain in IBM. Look at this consolidation. Sometimes you have to go to the monthly charts too. Monthly, weekly, daily, sometimes a 3 and 5 minute during the day. And this is when IBM woke up from a slumber from 2012. Remember when Microsoft did that? You could go to Microsoft. That you have to go further back. Well, where was that decade of pain for Microsoft before it wound up going? I remember it was somewhere. Literally from whatever it was. You can't see it on here, but let's go to maybe the weekly will show you. But bottom line is stocks do get reborn again, and IBM has been reborn. And congratulations if you went with IBM. At this point, it's already at highs. I did not play it. Some guys did. It's above the all-time highs here. Congratulations. And look at it. It was above the moving averages. So even IBM, the old school stock, followed some rules. People are saying some comments. Let's see what's going on right here. You guys could actually look and comment on the Pound 630 Club. It's on YouTube. It's on Twitter. Might be in a few other spots. Palantir. I already gave you my thoughts on Palantir. Yes, there is a wedge there. AMD. I put on AMD yesterday for the first time, I think, in months, just because it felt like it was a little perky. If you look at the chart here of AMD, it looks like I put a small little bottom in. So I was like, hey, NVIDIA is kind of out of play. They're doing some reversion to the mean type trades. So maybe, AMD is worth it. So I bought some stock. I bought options yesterday. So if you look on the virtual trading floor, which it wasn't on, they got to see me buy the AMD 120 calls for tomorrow. Actually, we made a double on those yesterday or something like that. So if it gets above 118.50, maybe there's some room to 121. So it's just a trade. Just a thought. Let's see. And so far, so good. NVIDIA is tough. NVIDIA at this point has this lower, type of consolidation. The longer it stays below 126 to 129, the more vulnerable it gets that it might break 120, 116. At this point, it's lower this morning, right? So you have a bunch of things changing. NVIDIA is a little lower. You have AMD a little higher, and then you have AVGO a little higher. So something changed here, right? For a while, NVIDIA was stronger than AVGO and AMD, and now NVIDIA is down 30 cents and they're up. Things change. When things change, we have to change and see if it starts a new trend or if it's just a 1-2 day wonder. As far as AVGO, which is Broadcom, which Meta said they're going to start using Broadcom technology and chips. Now the question is, does it get above and stay above 218? It's above 211. That's a big gap there. I'll look at it, but AVGO is a little tough to trade. Anyway, with all that being said, it's a 9:01. It's not 7 o'clock in the morning. This is not the 6:30 club. This is just a quick little recap and some thoughts for the day because I love to help my dogs around the world. Hopefully you're feeling well. It's been a volatile week. I get it. Just roll your shoulders back, do some things to burn off on whether you had a good or bad week. It's just a week. It's only January 30th, 1 month down. There's 11 months left of the year. It hasn't been the easiest. There's definitely been a lot of things to do, and we'll see once the Fed's behind us, once earnings settle down, if we get some trends to stay with that we could manage our tier system and process with to make some good money. Time frames matter, and your routine and process in morning matters, and you matter to me. I'll see you guys a little later. I got to jump.